Hey friends, welcome to Sabbath School Daily, where we have been studying from this lesson right here, 3 Cosmic Messages. This week we're studying from lesson number 8, which has the title, The Sabbath and the End. And today is Sunday's lesson, which has the title, The Judgment, Creation, and Accountability. Today's lesson, it starts off with three basic verses. The first verse comes from Revelation chapter 14, verse 7, that says, "Saying with a loud voice, fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come, and worship him who made heaven and earth, the sea, and springs of water." The second verse comes from Romans chapter 14, verse 10, that says this. Romans 14, verse 10 says, "But why do you judge your brother, or why do you show contempt for your brother? For we shall all stand before the judgment seat of Christ." And the third verse comes from James chapter 2, verse 8 through 13. James chapter 2, verse 8 through 13, that says this. Verse 8 through 13. "If you really fulfill the royal law according to the scripture, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. You do well, but if you show partiality, you commit sin and are convicted by the law as transgressors. For whoever shall keep the whole law and yet stumble in one point, he is guilty of all. For he who said, 'Do not commit adultery,' also said, 'Do not murder.' Now if you do not commit adultery, but you do murder, you have become a transgressor of the law. So speak and so do as those who will be judged by the law of liberty. For judgment is without mercy to one who has shown no mercy. Mercy triumphs over judgment." In the world around us today, it's very common to believe that we came from nowhere. We came from nothing. We are a random combination of cells that somehow evolved and together became what they are. However, one of the greatest arguments against this theory, against this idea, is the fact that we see morality. We see the standard of morality all around us in our world. We see people who judge or discern. I really like using the word discernment for judgment sometimes, because sometimes it seems that the word judgment has become such a heavy, a charged word. But truly, when we talk about human judgment in the way that it should be, it's really about discernment. It's you discerning between right and wrong. And the truth, friends, is that God gave us that ability of discernment, and he made us responsible. We have the responsibility of morality. And so if we are truly random groups and clusters of cells that have just evolved, where did that morality come from? Where did that knowledge of true, of right and wrong, where did that come from? Contrary to that, the Bible reveals that judgment comes with responsibility. It comes with accountability, and it's connected to God because we are connected to him, as we saw yesterday, by creation. He made us, and since he is a moral being, he imparted to us the sense of morality. That is one of the ways in which we were created in the image of God, according to Genesis. So again, being created in the image of God means that we are all connected, we are all tied by the bonds of creation, and since we are moral beings, given and endowed with discernment, we have a moral responsibility. We have a moral accountability with God. We are accountable to him because of his law, because of his justice. However, in this judgment that we see in the Bible that God imparts to us, and the way that we are encouraged, the way that we are ordered by God to judge others, it is done by mercy. The text in James just told us that mercy triumphs over judgment. So we see that in the way that God judges us. God judges us, friends, through the lens of mercy, through the filter of Calvary. And so we must also impart judgment or discernment in that context to others with mercy, because mercy trumps justice, or it triumphs over justice, as the text said. So always remember that when you are considering, when you are discerning between things in your life, apply mercy, especially when dealing with other people. God treats us with mercy, and so we should treat others with mercy. The lesson ends today bringing together all of this whole conversation about judgment and accountability and creation by reminding us that in the Sabbath, all of these are connected. When we keep the Sabbath, we are acknowledging that God is the God of the law. We find in both accounts of the Ten Commandments, in Exodus chapter 20 and Deuteronomy chapter 5, we see that God sums his law in a bond with him. Why do we not kill? Why do we not steal? Why do we not lie? Why do we not commit adultery? Why do we not commit idolatry? Why? Because we love God and we acknowledge him as the judge and the law giver of the universe. And how do I demonstrate that acknowledgement? I keep the Sabbath. I celebrate an anniversary with the Lord of our creation. And that comes every week in the form of the Sabbath. So I hope that not only did this lesson encourage you to consider your moral responsibility with the Lord, but also to consider that it is bonded, is connected by the adherence to the Sabbath, which is where you demonstrate your acknowledgement, your respect, your honor, your obedience to God as the ultimate judge of this universe, and also the ultimate mercy giver of the universe. May the Lord bless you. Please remember to study your lesson, look up the Bible verses, write down the answers that will help you understand the content better and explain it better when you need to. Also, please remember to like, to share, and to subscribe to our videos. We release one every day, and I hope to see you again here tomorrow for another Sabbath School Daily.